New Testament.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone else you worship?
He said, I'm not to worship no other God saving him.
Some to worship no other God saving him.
Is there anything?
Not to worship no other God saving him.
You, according to the Bible says don't worship idols. Is that correct?
Quite so.
And it says don't worship things.
Right.
So you don't worship anything, do you?
No.
No. You don't worship, for example, a cigarette.
No.
You don't worship ganja, right?
No.
No, we don't worship
You
the creation.
only worship, you answer, you only worship God.
God.
We don't worship the creation, we worship the Creator.
Do you seek converts to Ethiopian Zion Coptic religion? Do you seek converts to the Ethiopian Zion Coptic religion?
If I do seek them, God gave it the word. And blessed, tell him.
It's a company of us that publish it. God giveth the word, and blessed is a company of us that publish it.
Pretty.
So you do try to have other people believe as you believe.
So ever so often, as you hear of me, I will rather to tell you of this one thing, that by it, tell him.
Ever so often as you hear of me, I will tell you this one thing,
That by it,
that by it,
all man will be convinced and be confounded.
all man will be convinced and confounded.
For I will not give unto you the thing that will not be good for you.
I will not give unto you the thing that's not good for you.
Who is the head of the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church in Miami, Florida, Dade County, Florida, if you know?
God is the head of his church. So for all the many branches that you learn of, anywhere you go and buck up it,
God is the head of his church.
so the many of whom you will see, you will still hear them talking about God, the same as you do hear of me.
So
As many as you see, you will still hear them talking about God the same as you see this brother here.
do you know for a fact that the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church is practicing in Miami?
Practicing? What, something illegal or?
No, just practicing religion. It's religion.
No, this is not practicing.
Belief.
This is
You
not.
call it.
No, this is not practicing belief. I know they are of their true faith and they hold their faith. And they are true.
Who is that?
Of the so many who did partake, they are alive. For brethren are all over the world.
You'll have to repeat this.
When they are of the true faith and the holy faith, they are not practicing. These brethren are all over the world.
These what are all over the world?
Brethren and sisters,
What?
brothers and
And
sisters.
sisters are all over the world.
Said they are not practicing. They are brethren and sisters
They are
all over
true
the
and
world,
faithful.
Withholding their true faith.
holding their true faith.
And do you know definitely for a fact that people like yourself here are doing the same things you do in Miami, Florida?
And not there only. Not there only.
Not there only.
Not there only. For if you would go up in New York, you might have well seen brothers and sisters sitting down and praying the same way as they are all over the world, from all different nations, language, kindred and tongue.
All different nations, language, kindred, and tongues.
For it's not me only as a black man
Not me only as a black man.
do make myself a sacrifice unto truth.
To make myself a sacrifice unto truth.
Many nations likewise.
Many nations likewise.
From the Chinese man
From Chinese man
to the Indian
to the Indian,
to the Assyrian,
the Assyrian.
and there's so many of them all acclaim to be Abraham's children.
And so many of them all claim to be Abraham's children.
Do you know anyone by name? Do you name anyone who is in China who is a member of the Ethiopian Coptic Church? Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church?
In China, if you'll be looking away in China so many thousand miles away from here, you may not see right. You bring China right here and you'll see. If it's in this land, we behold 1,000,001 different credentials. You'll see all who these people are, as I say already.
You'll have to translate.
If you're in this land, you'll behold 1,000,001 different credentials, and you'll see as many people as he sees.
Right. So here you'll see the Chinaman come here, you'll see him elsewhere, and he's doing the same thing, same
Yes.
way. For he
So-
likewise.
Wait a second, so here you'll see the Chinese man
Yes,
come here.
And he'll
yes,
be doing the same thing here as likewise if you go to China.
right.
Was there one person by name, you can name, who's Chinese, who
No.
came here?
From afar, or you mean right here, or where you
No,
talking
from
about?
afar.
No.
Is there anyone who
For
you
it's good,
could name?
it's good enough a man will come and tell me that his name is Holdrog here, and when that fucker reach over there, tell me something different, so I don't do like that. He can be a robber, so I don't talk what he will say after. You hear what he say? I won't talk what he will say.
Where'd you lose?
The man is good enough to come here and tell them his name.
If a man is good enough to come here and tell me his name, what?
He will
What-
tell me that his name is Holdrog, and when he's gone, he's not what his name. So for me to be a record of his name, it can be false.
A man will come here and tell you his name is Old Joe, right? And he'll go somewhere else and he'll have a different name. So it's very difficult to bear record of
Of his
man's name.
name.
For you could say your name is
John Brown.
John Brown.
And you're a culprit moving along the line, and when you go, you change. So it's not
You
true.
could come here and say your name is John Brown, and when you go out on down the line, you could change
Right,
and say it's something else.
right. So it will be a record of his name.
So to be a record of his
To
name
bear record of man's name is
It's
very
rather
difficult.
optimistic.
is very difficult.
I bear record of your character
I bear a record of your character,
to tell the world who you are.
to tell the world who you are.
Right.
Right.
So from sin you will change
So from sin you will change
by hearing this message of truth.
by hearing this message of truth.
Does you testified before that you knew somebody named Thomas Riley or someone whom you know as brother-in-law.
Oh yes.
You indicated that you knew
Jacqueline Town.
Yeah.
You indicated you knew him at what, around 1971 or something, if I remember.
Somewhere,
correctly.
no, yeah, about that time, about 8 years now or more.
When you knew him, did he ever tell you that he smoked ganja or marijuana before he came to you?
I object to the form of the question because it appears that you're asking the question that he knew him only at one time. I believe the man's testimony is that the first time he knew him was in 1971, but that he has seen him many times from that time.
Okay. Since or any time from 1971 to present, when you met and talked with the person we refer to here as Brother Love, did he ever tell you that before 1971, before he met you, that he smoked ganja or marijuana?
Not to my remembrance.
Did Jacqueline Town or Sister Jackie, or something, correct? Or where you refer to her? Well, excuse me. Let me ask you again, refresh my recollection. When was the first time you met her?
About the same time I'm meeting that brother before.
From that time and through today, at any time, did she ever tell you that she smoked ganja or marijuana before she met you?
To my remembrance, I would not say it. For when we ever to meet, the more important things we have to talk about is more than what we now say. When we ever meet, the more important things we have to talk about is even more than what we are saying now. So to remember from all that little thing down so low to the most high state of transmission that man arises unto, it's rather hard.
Can you
We're talking about more important things now than talk about then. So to remember those things then.
I could remember what I tell her,
I could remember what I tell her,
and that's what she lived by as an evidence of truth today.
and that's what she lives by as an evidence of truth today.
Not to me only, to the world.
Not to me, only to the world.
That she will be good enough to transplant within you a new thought.
she will be good enough to transplant within you a new
A new child.
You don't remember too much about then what anything that she or Brother Love told you
Right.
prior to today.
No,
Your memory is not clear.
not at all that.
Now,
But
I'm sorry, is your question prior to today, or what they told him the first time
I'm talking
they
about,
met him? Because he's met them on numerous occasions. I'm
Right.
talking about prior to today.
and for so many of us ever to meet, we never had time to discuss too much with individuals. We discussed congregational.
So
Because we have a meeting large numbers so often at times.
So you talked to Brother Love and Sister Jackie in groups. You didn't talk to them individually.
Well, at times we meet individually, you know. As you know, that at times every man will have to buck up everyone individually.
And did you talk
to talk to every man individually.
Individually.
So we meet individually, we meet as we're sitting here.
And when we will meet individually, so often, our argument is so highly intellectual.
When we meet individually so often, our argument is so highly intellectual.
That little minor thing is never yet recalled in our remembrance.
And never in a call to remembrance of small details.
That never what?
Recall in our remembrance.
We never recall in our remembrance.
In our remembrance.
We never recall in our remembrance small details.
Too small for me to recall that. But we have something more important talking about.
The things that you primarily remember, are those things all with regard to discussions of religious matters?
Sure? Yeah.
So non-religious matters you don't recall?
No. You mind the thing I don't talk about.
You indicated that your parents were members of the Zion Coptic Church here in Jamaica.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
Were they ever members of any other beliefs
Religion?
or religion?
Not that I know of.
You've indicated that you've gone to 43 Star Island in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Is that correct? Do you know who owns that place?
I would assume in Jackson Town. So I understand.
I would assume it's Jacqueline Town. What was the rest of the name?
So as I understand.
You live here in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Other people who are members of what you call the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church are also members of Jamaica, live here in Jamaica. Is that correct?
Yeah.
As a home since they were born.
Yeah.
Do you know if those other individuals go to 43 Star Island?
Well, I couldn't tell. I ever capable of telling everything of myself.
He's only capable of telling you of himself.
Did anyone that is born in Jamaica ever tell you that they went there?
No.
I mean, people who from the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church, whom you see here today, or who normally are here today. Did any of them ever tell you they went there?
A man ever come and tell me the fear so freely still, you know. As it is always might have been his privacy.
Yeah.
It might have been his privacy, so he wouldn't want to disclose that. Some man is going to make a movie, not going to go regular come and tell me, say, man, I'm going to make a movie.
It might have been his privacy, so people might come here and go up there and not tell you.
Right.
Or they might come here and tell you.
But I know I've been there.
Teachings of Marcus
Wouldn't tell you
Garvey.
of any of them, yeah.
You mentioned that you read a book about the teachings of Marcus
Oh, yeah.
Garvey.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you read Marcus Garvey?
To show that all the people upon the face of the earth are one family.
To show that all the people on the face of the earth are one family.
One family.
Marcus Garvey was primarily associated with the black movement, isn't that correct?
Black movement.
Equality among
Among
blacks and others.
equality among humanity.
And his beliefs were not founded in the Bible by him, were they?
His
to your
belief?
knowledge?
No, that was his knowledge. It wasn't that he believed that. He knew it should be that. For the
He
earth
was-
was one family.
He was not
There's
a
one family.
just tell me stop or something right away. He was not to your knowledge, he was not a member of the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church like you are.
Why would you say that he was not?
Let me put it this way, he was not a priest or an elder of the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church.
You make a
To your
statement,
knowledge.
you ask.
I'm asking a question, to your knowledge.
Look here, in the earth, did not a man came before Christ and tell the people of the world to prepare to meet him?
Wait a minute.
In the earth, didn't the man come before Christ and tell the world to prepare to meet him?
That a man, that his name is John, and as he is worthy to come and baptize them with water.
A man whose name is John was worthy to come and baptize them with water.
He telling them
He's telling them,
that a man coming after him
a man coming after him
will baptize them
will baptize
with
them
the Holy Spirit and fire.
with the Holy Spirit and fire.
So when you hear of Marcus Garvey,
So when you hear of Marcus Garvey,
think it not strange that today you see me. I am telling you anything different from what Marcus Garvey was ever saying. How Marcus Garvey had come telling the world anything different from what was written therein.
think it not strange that you're hearing anything different than what Marcus Garvey said than when you're hearing Mr. Dickens say.
Nor did Marcus Garvey come saying anything different from what was written in the Holy Volume.
Yeah.
For Marcus Garvey did not come with a strange gospel,
Marcus Garvey didn't come with a strange gospel,
nor a erroneous doctrine,
nor an erroneous doctrine, nor anything different from
nor
what's in the
an
Bible,
endless genealogy.
nor an endless genealogy.
He come telling man how to unite
He comes telling man how to unite
and to live one with another,
and to live one with another,
as good as God so permit us all to do.
as good as God permits us so all to do.
I want to know, was not his message a true one? That any man should accept it, that we all should live as one?
Was not his message a true one? Was not his message a true one? That we should all live united.
I don't know if you clarified it before, because it's been a lengthy deposition, but how old are you?
49.
I'm 49.
And your race is, for the record, the Negro, right? What's the sociological, the Negroid is Caucasian.
Now, what is it? Talk it, let me understand what it is.
What race are you?
What race? I'm an Ethiopian man. I'm an Hebrew man. A black man.
Hebrew man, a black man.
Mm.
Your nationality, you
An
were born,
Ethiopian man.
where were you born? What country?
Well, I was born right here.
In Jamaica.
Yeah. Yet that doesn't say that because I was born here, I am still not the same as ever before. For a man never change, you know.
Has
A
not been
lion
said.
anyway, buck up a lion is just a lion. You see the thing? So we want to know that civilization didn't go up in no wise. It ever remained here with us. Today the world wanted this very wanted. To know, to have the peacefulness of mind. To live in consciousness.
To have the peacefulness of mind, to live in consciousness.
What?
Civilization.
I forget that you are right all the way. Where we start?
Where are we at?
I see the thing again. We are asking each other the same thing.
She stopped when you said salvation did you go to River Nile. That's where you stopped.
What's the last thing you heard?
I can tell you.
Tell her.
That doesn't say because I was born here, I am still not the same as every man, as before, every man never changes.
He was answering your question on what nationality or what
That
he is.
doesn't help me, I've got to know what he said.
I understand. Did he say, did you get the part where he said he was born here?
Yeah,
Let's
he got it.
just read the last few words.
Oh.
He was born here,
Yeah.
just because I was born here, I'm still not the same as ever before, but man never changed.
I
Right.
am still the
I
same.
am still the same.
I
Right.
am still the same.
I can't have somebody say a word.
Okay. Could you say the words? Could you
I
say
keep
the words for him?
asking and it doesn't help.
Brother Bobby, try to give everything.
Come on, second. I know better than that.
You use the word sacrament. What does that mean as you use the word?
Sacrament?
I did make him get
That's a holy, that's a communion. That's my communion.
It's my communion.
It's my communion.
A sacrament
Yes.
is a communion.
It's a communion.
What is a communion? We got to get it into other words that the judge can
Yes.
understand it.
Right. My communion is my ganja.
I understand, but what is, you say sacrament, and you say sacrament means communion.
Right.
What, can you put that in other words for a judge or someone who does not necessarily believe as you do? Put it in other words so he can understand it. What is a sacrament?
Like they have the bread and the wine.
You see, in other churches you will go and you see they partake of things specially
And other churches
For
you will
the-
go, you will see them partake of things specially,
made for a purpose and for a cause,
Especially
for a
made
purpose and for a
and
cause.
whereby it wouldn't be so freely given unto others who will possibly step by.
All right.
Whereby it wouldn't be so freely given as to others who would pass by,
Will possibly step by.
possibly step by.
For it is, you would have to say it is sacred.
Or you'd have to say it's sacred.
So what you're talking about as a sacrament then is basically something you consider sacred.
Right.
Yes.
For it is not for the unworthy man,
But it's not for the unworthy man.
man.
the man who will smoke it and commit violence
The man who smoke and commit
and
violence.
rape
And
and
rape.
murder. As you know, in the world today, for every purpose good, man find evil therein.
For every purpose good, man find purpose evil therein.
A man will drink his wine, and it's commonly sold. He can go and buy. And just when
A man will drink wine is commonly sold.
he can go and buy. And at the same time,
And we can go by.
Commonly told.
commonly sold.
Sold.
Sold. Where he can go and buy. When he drink to an amount, he get himself out in space, and he do all kind of very runner thing.
When he
drink
drinks to
himself
an
to an
amount,
amount.
he gets himself out in space. To an amount.
To an amount. When he drinks to an amount,
He gets himself out in space.
he gets himself out in space.
Some fell by the wayside.
Some fall by the wayside.
Some men wouldn't afford to drive his car go home that night.
Some
Some
men
Some
men
would
men
drive their
cannot
car.
drive their car to go home that night.
When he reaches home half in time, he fell off his bed.
When he reaches home, oftentimes he'll fall off his bed,
He crashed on the road and going home.
crashes on the road, going home.
For he's totally out of himself.
For he is totally out of himself.
We're out in the, we're away from town.
I say, with ganja,
Correct.
I am conscious in myself.
I say with ganja, I am conscious in myself.
Right.
In regard to the sacrament, you related it to like a wine, that might be in another church, right?
Right.
Okay. That is picked by you as choice, right?
Not by me. Not by me.
Well, by,
Might you wrong. Not by me. This is not my identity.
Not by me, not picked by me.
No,
Like you,
by him,
No, by him,
the author of eternal salvation.
Yeah.
the author of eternal salvation.
why
Thank you
do
very much.
you think or say or believe that someone, him, the author of eternal salvation, picked a particular sacrament such as ganja as opposed to wine, when another church says that they pick or believe that wine is a sacrament?
For God is perfect.
For God is perfect.
He would not amalgamate.
He would not amalgamate,
So he would have for himself
so he would have for himself
something for himself.
something for himself.
For all things he created them,
For all things he created them,
both in heaven and earth,
both in heaven and in
and
earth,
under the earth.
and under the earth.
So we are likewise.
So we are likewise.
But why was this chosen
Across the way.
among all of the things that could have been chosen?
By this, what do you mean?
Ganja.
If he had chosen this from the beginning of time for himself, could there be a changing today?
So
he had chosen this from the beginning of time for himself. God chose this from the beginning of time for himself. Could there be a change today?
I think it said if God chose.
No, if
No.
God did.
God
Well,
did.
down the Bible, God give you
God
herbs, you know.
did. God give you the
did.
Bible, the herb and everything. The word, the man and everything.
God give you the Bible, the herb, the word, and everything.
God in his perfection did not leave creation short of anything.
God in his perfection did not leave creation short of
Of
anything.
anything.
Only the praise of
Is
God.
there, in the Bible, is there any other source that specifically, in the Bible we introduced into evidence before, is there any place you can show me where it talks about ganja, specifically uses the word ganja?
Ganja. That's why I foretold you that you will hear me speak of things that is not written therein.
Thereby I foretold you that I will speak of things that are not written therein.
For now you will be able to write G-A-N, G-A,
Now you won't be able to write ganja.
right.
G-A-N-G-A.
Yet you wouldn't open the book and find it in there.
Yet
Right.
you wouldn't open the book and find it in there.
You will hear the book speak of herbs,
You will hear this book speak of
and the man
herbs.
was his herbs man, and his cattle man, and his fruits man.
That's very
And the
important.
man was his herbs man, and a cattle man, and a fruit man.
For of the days of his time, he was ever a man gathering his sycamore fruit,
For the days of his time, he was ever a man, always gathering his sycamore fruit,
minding his sheep,
minding his sheep.
for he was a shepherd man,
He was a shepherd man,
and he was an herbs man.
and he was an herbs man.
Therefore that man in his perfection
Therefore, that man in his perfection
did not amalgamate,
did not amalgamate.
for
What was the last word?
Did not
Did not
amalgamate.
amalgamate.
he was
Amalgamate.
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 Amalgamate. He was ever always holy unto his God.
He was ever always holy unto his God.
Therefore, he first got a preference that he was called the Son of God.
So he first has a preference that he was called the Son of God.
So he said, my Lord said unto my
Son of
Lord.
God.
He was called the Son of God.
So he said, my Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
So he said,
So he said, our Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Until I make thine enemies
Thy footstool.
Thy footstool.
So upon the face of the earth, with that authority, there is no other name in this world
go ahead.
Upon the face of the earth with that authority, there is no other name in the world
that is left
that is left.
for a man. Talk as I'm talking that you
For
will
a man.
understand, man. For a man
For a man
to be saved,
Receive,
saving the name of Jesus Christus.
saving the name of Jesus Christus.
Not Jesus.
Not Jesus.
Not Jesus.
For I don't bear record of a book with this inscription of Jesus written therein.
For I don't bear record of a book that has this record of this name Jesus in it.
For though I am a dunce
Though I am a dunce
and didn't go to a college
and didn't go to college
to get such a knowledge,
to get such a knowledge,
I pray God, I'm not a fool.
I pray God I'm not a fool.
For I open my eyes
For he opened my eyes
to see for myself,
To see for myself.
that I read with understanding,
that I read with understanding.
and see,
that I
Read with
Read with
understanding.
read with understanding, and see for myself plainly that J-E-S-U-S is Jesus and not Jesus.
And see plainly for myself that J-E-S-U-S is Jesus and not Jesus.
You get a correct spelling difference between those two, so it comes out.
yeah, but
G-E-Y.
I know for
I
myself.
didn't get it in the beginning, so.
Yeah, so I want to be sure you get
I
it.
know for myself
Jesus begins with a
that
G.
is J-E-S-U-S is Jesus and Jesus is G-E-Y-S-A-S.
For look here, I am plain before you. I go to a simple school,
I'm playing before you. I go to a simple school.
and I was taught
And I was taught
by my teacher,
by my teacher
who gave me 26 letters
who gave me 26 letters
into the alphabet
Who gave me 26 letters into the alphabet
as a civilization.
as a civilization.
Out of it,
Out of it,
I was capable, as he had showed me,
I am capable, as he showed me,
to comprehend
to comprehend
8 parts of speech.
8 parts of speech.
That 26 letters was to civilize me
That 26 letters was to civilize me
and to Christianize me.
and to Christianize me.
And these 8 parts of speech are verb, adverb, noun, pronoun, adjective,
Well, see, I
And
guess
these 8 parts of speech are verb, adverb, noun,
That's what we
pronoun,
can
adjective, preposition,
and introduction.
and introduction.
Right.
Our verb, proverb, noun, pronoun, adjective, conjunction,
Introduction and proposition.
introduction, and proposition.
With these,
With these,
I was capable
was capable
to see that civilization was not behind me.
to see that civilization was not behind me,
Neither had it gone anywhere far before me.
nor had it gone anywhere far before me.
It was just in me
It was just in me.
that with such great etiquette,
That with such wit etiquette,
I was uplifted
I was uplifted
to know today
to know today
that I'm capable to civilize any man
that I'm capable to civilize any man,
and to Christianize him also
to
too.
Christianize him also,
That he will change from his brutish
that
way
he would change from his brutish ways
and not to believe God,
and not to believe God,
to know who is
to
God,
know who is God,
that he will be justified,
he
to
will be
know
just-
who make him.
that he will be justified to know who make him,
We're talking about,
to know.
Who makes it?
who make him.
we're talking about, am I correct from what I heard before, that ganja is not written in the Bible itself, the words ganja?
No.
That is something that you picked up from outside.
Look here, I tell you why it could not be written there. Look here now. I in Jamaica here call it ganja.
I in Jamaica here call it ganja.
You over United States, you call it marijuana.
You over in the United States call it marijuana.
You will buck up another man who will call it grass.
You buck up another man who call it grass.
So for the so many
You
different...
meet another man who call it grass.
Right,
You meet another man who will call it grass.
right. They call it pot.
They call it pot,
And all the different kind of a name.
and all the different kinds of a name.
So instead of distinguish one name, the scriptures plainly speak of herbs.
So
Instead of
instead of distinguish just one name,
The scripture
the scripture
calls it herbs.
calls it herb, H-E-R-B.
Are there other types of herbs or herbs?
Yes, all the other rest of things are all herbs and bush and vines and so on.
Yes, all the rest of the other things are bush and vine and roots.
And many other herbs,
And
not
many
only
other
one
herbs.
herb.
Many other herbs.
For look here,
And all herbs, according to the passage you read in Genesis, are then sacred. Is that right?
all refer unto the use of man and beast.
All represented for the use of
A man and
for
beast.
beast.
So whichever you like, you eat.
So whichever you like, you will eat.
There are other herbs that are sacred.
Oh, just.
Is that correct?
Object to that because that,
Not it.
excuse me, sir. I object to the question because there's nothing in his testimony would lead you to conclude it was proper to use that in a question. That all herbs are sacred. That's not what he said.
I'm asking.
We have,
Well,
we have.
object for the record.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
The reference is Genesis 1:29.
Right.
It's where God says he gave them all the herbs
Evergreen herb.
and its seeds.
Evergreen herb.
So
I mean, it said there's more than one.
it doesn't say anything about that.
Do we have the Bible, the when you're part of it?
Psalms 104 says grass for the cattle and herb for the service of man. Psalms. Yeah.
Please go through these.
Genesis
So
1:29.
God has made one.
129.
First page, lower left.
Oh, look at now. This is the ganja.
Second page up toward the top.
Coming back. Look at the calendar. Put them up. You go to church.
And in Genesis, the Bible referring to 29, verse 29 says, "And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, comma,
Right.
which is upon the face of all the earth,
On the face of all the earth.
comma." So as far as I've read now, then, there are all herbs.
All herbs.
By God.
Oh, sure.
Now, as far as you believe, are all herbs sacred?
Sacred? No, I wouldn't say it's sacred, but true.
No, I wouldn't say it's
What
sacred.
I will say is that It will ever remain, for it can't change.
Perfect.
So it's perfect.
For it
It
can't
ever
change.
remain,
It
for
can't
it can't change, for it's perfect.
It will ever remain, for it can't change. It is perfect.
For look here, what I mean to show you
For look here,
Banana.
what I mean to show you
is that you could not change a coconut tree from not being a coconut tree.
is that you could not change a coconut tree from not being a coconut tree.
And you could not change me man from not being a man.
And you could not change me man from not being a man.
So nothing of the Lord can ever change.
Nothing of the Lord can ever change.
Can ever change.
But if we take another herb, for example, give me an example of another herb.
Oregano.
Oregano, for example, is an herb, right? To your knowledge?
Like,
Cook with it.
like what you mean?
Let's take time.
Talk about time.
We've taken a lot of time.
Oregano is an herb.
Yeah.
Is it do you consider oregano sacred because it was created by God?
I don't say they are sacred. What I will acclaim is that the perfection, the creation of God is perfect and it's unchangeable.
Creation of God is perfect and unchangeable.
Yes.
So it wouldn't say it's sacred.
No.
Or he hasn't defined what sacred is yet.
Well, I thought he said.
Well, would you say a
Okay.
banana is sacred?
We'll go back in that.
Eh?
Is it a sacrament?
Is oregano a sacrament, is what he said.
No, man, it's a spice you put in
No.
You cook
food.
with it.
No, no,
No.
no, it wouldn't be a sacrament.
So other herbs are not sacraments. Only
Yet they have
ganja
a-
is a
yet they have a
sacrament,
purpose.
I know ganja is a sacrament.
but no other herb
No,
is a
for I
sacrament.
I wouldn't tell a man to go smoke a trumpet leaf or a bundle of grass.
I wouldn't tell another man to go smoke a trumpet leaf or a bundle of grass.
For I don't know what good he would have got out of that. I sure that.
For I don't know what good he could get out of that.
And I'm not going to point him astray that he will lose his way.
I'm not going to point him astray so he'll lose his way.
I rather to direct him
Rather
the
to
way,
direct him
the way in which I know is fair.
the way which I know is fair.
And when he see me again, he will greet me as a righteous brother, meeting him always.
That when he sees me again, he will greet me as a righteous brother.
Meeting him always.
Meeting him always.
Always. For I didn't come to deceive him.
I didn't come to deceive him.
The same as I know of, the same as I give unto you.
The same as I know of, the same I give unto you.
Is there anything in the Bible, anywhere, the New Testament or the Old Testament, that talks about smoking herbs?
Yes.
Smoking herb?
Out of his nostril comes
He's got it.
smoke.
He has the answer.
Psalms 18.
Well, he has the answer.
Yes,
Out
man.
of his nostril comes smoke.
To show the world that God is a narcotic man. As it was said, Moses,
To show that God is a
Narcotic
narcotic
man.
man.
yes, he said, Moses, take off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou standest is on holy ground.
He said, Moses, take thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou stand is holy ground.
It's on holy ground.
And how does that make him, man, narcotic?
He was in the burning bush.
He was in the burning bush.
And so the burning bush is the reference to smoking.
To prove that he was the first and only Kabbalah
To prove that he was the first and only Kabbalah,
who was immaculate in his conception
who was immaculate in his conception,
and infinite in all perfection.
Infinite in all perfection.
For he speak and it was done.
For his speaking it was done.
So Pharaoh had also give him his child and let God's people go.
So Pharaoh had to give him his child and let God's people go.
Pharaoh,
Pharaoh.
had to give him his child.
his choice,
his choice.
His children.
right. His choice was to get his children of Israel to go home with him. His choice,
Had to give him his child.
His choice.
choice. Right. For his choice was to take the children of Israel home with him.
For his
For he
choice
was the leader of them.
was to take the children of Israel home with him, for he was the leader of them.
And he said in his declaration to them that I am the Lord your God,
For his declaration to them, he said, I am the Lord your God,
who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
who brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage.
Thou shalt have no other God before me.
Thou shalt have no other God before me.
For I am a jealous God,
For I am a jealous God,
visiting the iniquity
visiting iniquity
of the father
of the father
unto the nephew,
unto the nephew,
unto the third and fourth generation
unto the third and fourth generation
of them
of them
that hate me
that hate me,
and keep my commandments.
keep my commandments.
That love me and keep my
That love me,
commandments. That love
that
me.
love me and keep my
That love me and
commandments.
keep my commandments.
Right.
Other than the burning bush,
Yes.
is there any other passage in here which refers to smoking herbs?
Oh yes.
Well, if you want, you may know it by heart, and then, you know, if
You
you
wanna
want
find
to
it for you?
use this to
Look
Psalms
draw a
18.
Look in
reference,
Psalms 18.
well, just,
Psalms 18.
we'll give it to him, let him,
Now I wouldn't be able to translate now when the light is man.
They're pretty too small.
It's more for my eyes now.
so just tell me what the number is, and then you can let him read it, let the record reflect that he's got another person. reading
Psalms
it.
18.
Verse 8. Psalms 18, verse 8.
Verse 8.
Psalms 18, verse 8.
There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. Smoke out of his
Yes, you got that.
nostrils. That mean to say a man smoking, you know.
That's right.
Only man have nostrils and can blow smoke out of there.
But does it say what they are smoking anywhere?
It could be nothing more than I know
If
of.
you sure you want to know what they must smoke?
Could it be tobacco that they're referring to?
It's the herbs that God to give man.
Right.
Smoke.
You have,
Psalms 104
Psalms 104.
says, God
Yeah.
gave
God
grass for
giveth
cattle,
grass for the cattle,
Herb for service.
and herb for the service of man. Verse 14, Psalms 104. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle, and the herb for the service of man.
As I said previously, I would not give you guinea grass to smoke.
As I said previously, I would not give you guinea grass to smoke.
No, no, no. Neither would I give you any other familiar bush to what I don't use.
what about
Any familiar bush that I don't use.
He's not going to give you guinea grass or any kind of strange bush that he doesn't use to smoke.
Can I be a member of the Zion Coptic Church?
Sure.
Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church.
Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, from now on, if there's any error in my statements, it's referring to the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church. unless
Understood,
otherwise.
agreed.
Okay, you put that on the record.
We can just say the church.
Go talk about it. Church is okay. Now on, if I make any reference to the record stands correct and clear, when I'm referring to the Ethiopian Church, or the Zion Church, or the Coptic Church, or just the church, I'm referring to the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church. Can I become a member of the Coptic Church and not smoke ganja and still be a good member of the church?
It's not the same.
Our life of living and of its purity, we don't live in doubt
Our
and
life
in
of
fear
living, our life of living is purity, is not of doubt and fear.
and fear. So while the thing is true, it is just one way.
So
to
while the thing is true, it's just one
one
way
way to the pearly gate.
So then
to the pearly
To
gate.
the pearly gate.
So if I was sick or ill for some reason and I couldn't smoke, then I could still become a member of your church.
Well, that would be different when you would have already been a member. That would be different. If it is in state of your sickness you want to be a member, that's what you mean to tell me?
Yes. Could I be a member and be a believer of what you believe without smoking ganja?
Well, quite likely. For look here,
Quite like
could have been your sin make you sick.
You see the thing. Could have been your sin that made you sick.
So you see you want a remedy for true.
So you want a remedy for true.
And so I could do it then, am I correct, without smoking ganja? I don't have to smoke ganja to.
So if you will not be able to partake of the spiritual, then
Wait, tell him, this is very important.
if you're not be able to partake of the spiritual, then
for this is spiritual.
So this is spiritual.
Right.
What do you mean by this?
The ganja.
ganja,
Ganja.
spiritual
It is
food.
spiritual.
I could still become a member of the church and be considered by you and everyone else here to be a member
Yes.
A brother.
When our brother.
and a good brother.
Yes, when you will know necessary steps and all them is being taken and done. For you'll have to give up your sin.
When he will know the necessary steps that have to be done, for you'll have to give up your sin.
Okay, but if I give up my sin and do everything else, I don't need to smoke ganja to be a member, to be a good member, a priest or an elder in this church.
When you are
correct?
when you are no,
Did
not
you give
yet
up your
correct.
sin?
Not
Not
yet
yet, not
correct.
yet correct.
For look here, I want you to get it clear that if you were sick, then physically, for you know a sick man would have got to lay in bed.
I want you to know if you were sick physically, for a sick man would have to lay in bed.
Right,
If I was not sick,
right.
okay, and I was able to smoke, but I didn't want to, could I still be a member of your church?
No, for that time, I know you'll be false.
But at that
But
time,
that
I
time
know
I
you'd
would
be
know you would
false.
be false.
You'll be false.
And you wanted to come be a member of a church and you didn't want to smoke, you would be like a false.
For you would have to eat and drink of him to remember him.
But
You have to eat and drink of him to remember him.
For he said, as often as you partake of this Holy Eucharist,
As often as you partake of this Holy Eucharist,
it put you back in remembrance
it put you back in remembrance
of God
of God.
in relation with man. So you're quick to enter back into the gates of paradise. Good things must come into your mind.
So you're quick to enter back into the gates of paradise, for good things come into your mind.
So if you was a robber, you're ready not to rob no more.
So if you were a robber, you're ready to rob her no more.
For that great energetical spirit in your thought,
That great interjectical spirit
in your thought,
in your thought
will transmit you
will transmit you
into a heart of glory.
into a heart of glory.
That wickedness you will not want to do it no more. You'll be ashamed of the works you used to do.
That wickedness, you won't want to do it no more. You'll be ashamed of the works you used to do.
You used to do.
What
While we
does,
partake of the ganja.
what does ganja do for you as far as your religion? How does it help you, or does it help you?
Oh man, it helped me wonderful. And as for me being a dunceman today, I've got a lot to tell you now.
And as for me as a dunce man, I have a lot to tell you now.
To tell you now. And as from the time when I did partake of such holiness, and my mental equilibrium was open,
Okay.
As from the time I partook of such holiness, and my mental equilibrium was open,
and the seed of unfaltering righteousness
and the seed of unfaltering righteousness
come therein,
come therein,
I was capable
I was capable
to know that God is man,
to know that God is mine,
and to see all things for myself,
to see all things for myself,
and were yet more capable now
and
And we're
yet
yet
more
more capable now
to enlighten every man
to enlighten every man
of the said same good quality,
of the said same good quality,
that not mine only,
not mine only,
for every man.
for everyone.
For salvation is an individual,
Salvation, not individual,
is an endless praise.
is an endless praise.
It is for me, it is for you, and for everyone too. For all have to call upon the God of Abraham, who is
Go
our
ahead.
Father.
It is for me, it is for you.
Everyone to have to call upon the God of Abraham.
For everyone to
Have to call upon the God of
Of
Abraham.
the God of
For
Abraham.
everyone to call upon the God of Abraham.
Where do you get your sacrament? From, you know you get it from the ground. You tell
Oh,
people
you
it's
see.
water, but you grow it here
Me? You mean right here?
in the farm.
In the farm? If I would go in the farm and see ganja growing, it's not me growing ganja there.
if I was in the farm and I saw ganja growing there, me not growing it
You
there.
wouldn't grow it there. For look here. The farm would be upset that I am here, and maybe for all 3 months,
As such,
Let's keep up with this.
the farm is upset that I will be here and good enough for all 3 months.
All right.
I will be here and good enough for all 3 months.
I may not find myself over there.
I may not find myself over there.
Right. When I got over there in that 4 months,
When I got over there in that 4 months,
I may walk into a woodland as high as myself,
I may walk into a woodland as high as myself,
with so many different things therein,
with so many different things therein,
that quite likely ganja could have been there.
that quite likely ganja could have been there.
I'm not going to grow in my bedroom,
I'm not going to grow in my bedroom,
nor in my kitchen, I assure that.
nor in the kitchen, I assure you of that.
So anywhere it could have been anywhere else. I got to bring it where I am always.
But it could be anywhere else. I got to bring it where I am always.
Could be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Bring it.
It could be anywhere else. They have to bring it
to where I am.
to where I am always.
Give it to me.
Where, who brings it to you?
All the man who plant ganja, man. Oh, you think I,
All
ganja?
the man who plant ganja man.
Why me no ganja, man? I don't know me want a ganja, man.
What?
I mean, not a me a ganja man.
Me a ganja, man,
I mean,
man.
not alone a ganja man.
Whole heap of man in the world a
Whole
ganja,
heap of
man.
man in the world ganja man.
Where is
Did
the,
you get that?
A whole
No,
heap
no.
of
heap
men.
of
Whole heap of man.
World full of ganja, man.
The world
All
is full
over
of
the
ganja.
world
Full of
are
ganja,
ganja
man.
man.
Yes.
The world is full of ganja man.
The world is full of
Not
ganja.
here alone.
where do you get the ganja from? I mean, it's got someone, as I understand it, is a grass or an herb. And it has to grow someplace, someone has to cut it, and it has to process it. Where do you get the ganja you use?
Look here, as I was telling you something a while ago. I don't want to leave you void of knowledge. Look where I am.
I don't want to leave you void of knowledge.
Look how close
I don't want to leave you void of
of
knowledge.
knowledge. To see we are right here.
To see we are right here.
And just here alone. I'm good enough to be here.
And just here alone.
And for 3 months, I wouldn't go over that side.
And for 3 months, I wouldn't go over to that
And when I
side.
go there the 4th month,
And when I go there the 4th
I
month,
see all different kind of things been there. Very
I
surprising.
see all kind of different things there. Surprising.
So you see, for me to tell you that I get ganja from here or from there, I couldn't tell where I would have to, not
Okay.
all there.
Yeah,
Okay, I understand I understand what you're saying, and I know what I want to ask. So I understand what you're saying so far.
Right.
Is the ganja you get, I tried that already. Is the ganja you use
Yeah.
from Jamaica? Is it grown here in Jamaica someplace?
Yes. All over Jamaica.
All over Jamaica they grow ganja?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Every
man, every
parish.
parish.
Look here. Ganja grow in St. Thomas in every parish it grow. Even in the city Kingston, it grow.
Even the city of Kingston it grow.
Look here. Just since last month in town,
Just since last month in Kingston,
3 chains behind the station, the police station.
3 chains behind the police station, a couple hundred yards behind the police station,
Into a tenement yard.
into a tenement yard.
They found a ganja plant.
They found a ganja.
It is 15 feet 6 inches tall.
It's 15 feet 6 inches tall.
And they claim multitude of people are living there
And they claim a multitude of people are living there.
and no one who is responsible for it.
So no one was responsible for it.
And they,
nobody left for it.
nobody. For it's like it was wild, a wild tree growing, where like no one know it.
It was like a wild tree growing.
No one know it. A bird can pick the seed up and carry it and plant it in.
You can buck it up anywhere.
But there are a lot of these plants in
Yeah,
Jamaica.
yeah, man has got it. I tell you why. The poor people,
The poor people.
the poor people, they live so destitute.
They live so destitute.
Ever for long thousands of years now.
Even for long thousands of years.
And all they could possibly depend upon is to help themselves.
What?
And all they were able to depend on to help
To help
themselves.
themselves. They weren't rich,
They weren't rich.
neither did their parents rich.
Neither did they.
Their parents
They
rich.
read
Rich.
Their parents,
Neither was
Neither were
their
their
parents rich.
right.
some of
They are all poor.
They're all poor.
They didn't get much education.
They didn't get much education.
They didn't fit it for society.
They weren't fitted for society.
They were outcast.
They were
Outcast.
outcast.
They were trodden down.
They were trodden down.
They were left the most depressed always.
Trodden down.
They were trodden down.
Trodden down,
They were left to,
depressed always, and needed help at every time.
And needed help at every time.
needed help every time.
So I mean to tell you plain that they were greatly oppressed. The only way they
I
could
mean
help
to tell you
themselves,
plain that they were greatly oppressed.
oppressed. The only way they could help themselves,
The only way they could help themselves,
these uneducated people,
these uneducated people,
were to go into the bush
was to go to the bush
and began to plant their herb
and begin to plant their herb
and a trade among themselves.
and to trade among
They
themselves
sell it for money among themselves and they do live.
and to sell it for money among themselves, and they do live.
Till today,
Till today,
thousands of people in the earth today
thousands of people in the
Earth today
earth today
are in the same assembly,
are in the same assembly,
whether for commercial cars,
whether from
for commercial cause.
for you knowing everything, there's a good,
For you know in everything there's a good.
there's a good, and the good of all is still transmitting to evil always.
And the good of all is transmitted into evil always.
So they always change the good into evil.
Right. For I will use it for a spiritual cause.
For I'll use it for a spiritual cause.
That man will use it for a great commercial cause.
The next man will use it for a great commercial cause.
That other man use it to commit his vicious act.
The next man could use it to commit his vicious act.
And so the thing is on.
And so the thing is on.
Do people use it?
And so the thing is always.
Do people who provide you with ganja sell it to you commercially?
Provide me?
Yes, you said it. You know,
No.
No.
is it given to you for free?
I get ganja to smoke because I'm a ganja man.
I get ganja to smoke because I'm a ganja
I'm a
man.
ganja man. Yes, man. That's the first thing I ever get always. A good bungalow ganja to smoke.
I always get.
Yeah.
So in other words, people cultivate it and give it to you for free.
For free. I get it for free. I get it for free, yes.
I get it for free, yes.
For a matter of fact,
I get it for free, yes.
a man will give me, I take it. No, so when a man tell me a man have a draw to give you, I take it. I'm glad to get it, man.
The man give me, I take it.
Yeah, man.
Is all the ganja that's used here as a sacrament, according to what you testified to so far, is all the ganja that is used here given free to everyone?
Look here. I'll show you what I mean. Every man you see here is a ganja man.
Every man you see here is a ganja man.
He's capable so often
He's capable so often
of finding all things for himself.
of finding all things for himself.
So he's not obligated to anything.
So he's not obligated to anything.
Neither will he be in any great distress for our having.
Nor would he be in any great distress
For our having.
for our having.
For it's like how you're the man who must have to drive a motor car.
Nor will he be in great distress.
For our having.
For what?
Our having.
Our having. How we having what we want.
For our having.
For our having.
Right.
For our
Like how the
having.
man
Yeah.
has a pipe.
For you see, like how you must have to drive a motor car.
So you see,
The same as how you have to drive a motor car.
the same as how you have to drive a motor car,
It's the same I have to smoke my ganja.
The same I have to smoke my
the
ganja.
same I have to smoke my ganja.
So if you know you have to.
Okay.
Right.
Mr. Dickens,
Well,
Brother Dickens,
Yes.
you're doing great.
you mean that.
Longest deposition I ever taken.
Yeah.
We've been here for what? Started about 1:30?
Yeah.
You better take a week or a
6
year.
hours.
One day with God is 1,000 years. And then with
1,000 years is as one day.
One day with God.
One day with the state attorney just seems like 1,000 years.
Oh, yeah. I can see that he's glad to be with you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'll provide for thee.
Oh, yeah, sure thing is. That we are the water will be there with thee. Always. And never
While we're
leave
off the record, the biggest question I have is what my wife's going to think when I don't show up in Miami.
you. Tell her.
I didn't even have time because I'm trying to press it together.
She can meet you at the airport. You want to call her now?
Yeah, my
They'll get a line for you to call.
Yeah.
because he's going to try and get through his way, and we'll just call mine too.
Yeah. You can get a-
Maybe Hank can do it. Yeah, all the numbers and stuff I gave her there. Bob, you had, I gave you all those numbers, right? 'Cause he's gonna try and get through. So somebody can get through.
Yeah.
You heard for the healing of the nation.
Is it possible to get some more tea or something?
Yeah, sure.
Did you call me?
The sister understand good, you know.
She coming down well.
The sister understand
She
good.
understand us good, man. She coming on well.
You don't know.
How the man don't understand it.
What, don't understand what? Oh, I can
I understand black man.
You know, once in a while I don't understand a word or two, but I understand both what you are, the words you're speaking and also what you're saying.
Right. Comprehending.
Two different things.
You see the thing. You see the thing. You see, I never leave you void of knowledge. I rather to speak with one plain tongue, and all man would hear and understand. You see what I mean? I rather not to leave you void of knowledge. Rather to speak one plain tongue, and all man will hear and understand.
That all men
Will hear and understand.
All
man.
man will hear and understand. Well, look here.
That's one plain
You don't speak different from me, really.
No.
No, you speak the same language that I do, but just with a little difference. So I can make mine as plain as you can understand. For I understand you plainly, you know.
You see, he understand you plainly. He understand you plainly.
Yeah, I understand, like I said, except for a word or two once in a while.
Right, yes,
It's
yes,
hard
yes.
for me to hear, but other than that, I understand.
Right, that's good. Yeah. You're getting on fine too, man. You're getting on fine. You're not out of the picture.
I'm trying to remember what we were. You still remember just the very last thing we were talking, the last question.